Good evening, I'm Camelia and this is Kini News. Over the past week, remarks by former Premier Dr Mahathir Mohamad from an interview with an Indian satellite TV channel have been in the headlines. So what did Mahathir say? Let's take a look. According to reports, Mahathir had said that Indian Malaysians are not completely loyal to the country as they still identify with their country of origin. Speaking in an exclusive online interview with Indian satellite TV channel Tanti TV, he said an individual should identify as Malay to have the right to call the country their own. When asked if someone can't remain loyal to the country while committed to their roots, Mahathir had said that Indian Malaysians do not speak Malay as their home language, they speak Tamil. He said that his problem is when immigrants call the country their own while professing their own cultures and customs. When the host asked whether Mahathir expected the non-Malays to totally assimilate to become Malays, he replied in the affirmative. He pointed out that in the past, there were people of Indian, Pakistani, Arab and African origin who are now Malays. When asked whether Mahathir expects people of all races to identify as Malays rather than Malaysians, Mahathir said that it should be so. His remarks have led to criticism from various people as well as police reports being lodged against him. Apart from netizens, several lawmakers also commented on the matter. Among them are lawmakers as well as a former minister who served under him. Former Human Resources Minister M. Kulasegaran, who served under Dr Mahathir Mohamad, claimed that his remarks were intentional and meant to gain political support. The DAP Vice Chairperson alleged that this is Mahathir's tactic to make a last-ditch attempt at a comeback after he and his Pejuang party suffered a total wipeout in the last general election. He added that the sacrifices made by hundreds of Indians alongside fellow Malaysians, including defending our sovereignty and combating the communist insurgency, serve as irrefutable evidence of their dedication and allegiance to Malaysia. Meanwhile, Kuala Selangor PKR Chief Tiban Subramaniam lodged a report against Dr Mahathir over his statement. In a report lodged at Klang Selatan Police Headquarters, Tiban urged the police to investigate Mahathir's statement, which he claimed could incite racial sentiments among Malaysians. Former Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin also commented on the matter. In an episode of his Keluar Sekejap podcast, Khairi said that questioning loyalty based on ethnicity is unreasonable and unfair. Meanwhile, his co-host Shahril Hamdan said he was disappointed and that Mahathir shouldn't have said such a statement. He also pointed out that Mahathir had missed out mentioning a key component in the constitution on what defines a Malay.
There's a third component yang ada dalam perlembagaan Malaysia menjadikan definisi orang Melayu, iaitu beragama Islam. So, actually, dalam konteks perlembagaan Malaysia itu sendiri, hampir mustahil untuk kita minta orang bukan Melayu jadi Melayu, kecuali you nak paksa dia masuk Islam, which is not even Islamic to begin with, right?
Yeah. A Perikatan National Component Party also hit out at Mahathir over the statement. Gerakan President Dominic Lau said they plan to raise the issue at the next PN leadership meeting. Lau told Malaysia Kini that they will raise this issue in the PN meeting next week. He said that as a statesperson, it was completely inappropriate for the former Prime Minister to issue statements that offended the feelings of other races. Lau also called on the government to advise the former Langkawi MP to stop cultivating sentiments that discriminate between races because they may damage the spirit of the Malaysian nation. Considering Mahathir's latest statement to be very embarrassing, the senator said it should not have been issued by a figure who once advocated Vision 2020. He said what is sad is that Mahathir in his interview said non-Malays had been compensated well and questioned how we can compensate our own people. He added that Malaysians need to unite and accept the fact that this country is a country built together based on unity. Gerakan is one of the component parties of PN besides PAS and Bersatu. Mahathir is also an advisor to PN in the 4 states that it governs. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim took a swipe at Mahathir, saying that it was an irresponsible statement and irrelevant. Taking on a sarcastic tone, Anwar said Mahathir is known to label the non-Malays as disloyal, except for some of his cronies.
Dia memang terkenal, Melayu bagi dia malas, melainkan dia India dan China itu dianggap kurang loyal, melainkan beberapa kroni dia. Saya ingat Kenyataan itu kita bantah keras, sangat tidak bertanggungjawab.
Anwar added that all citizens are loyal in his eyes. He said we must respect each other regardless of race, and we must embrace the strength of the people. Unity Minister Aaron Ago Dagang was also on the same page as Anwar. He said he is at loss how someone who was Prime Minister for 22 years could make divisive remarks or what prompted him to do so. Aaron vowed not to compromise with those who create racial tensions. He said if Mahathir is still stubborn, they will meet him. He also assured that there is no cause for alarm over the state of racial unity in Malaysia. In the latest update to the story, Mahathir responded to Aaron saying that he was prepared to meet him. In a post on X, Mahathir said he hoped Aaron would come to the meetup. He added that those who talk about multiracialism and criticized him about racial issues should ask why there are race-based parties in the country instead of having a Malaysia party. He added that some parties claim they are multiracial, but former party leaders call it a fake multiracial party. Although he did not specify who he was talking about, his statement could be in reference to former Penang Deputy Chief Minister P. Ramazami. Yesterday, Ramazami had said he is shocked beyond belief that Mahathir, who never had good words for the DAP in the past, is now trying to defend the party as multiracial. Ramazami also said Mahathir lacks the credentials to reprimand Indians for being disloyal when he was primarily responsible for the ethnic, religious and social divisions. This came after Mahathir singled out Ramazami for forming a race-based party and took issue with the uproar over there being no Indian minister in the cabinet anymore. Mahathir had said that if not having an Indian minister in the cabinet is seen as unfair, then it must be because Ramazami is still loyal to the Indian race. He added that Ramazami always accuses him of being racist, but when he left a multiracial party, he went on to form an Indian party. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.